today's artist, today's podcaster, today's whatever you're doing in the internet economy, you need to be able to be mindful of your business. It's your responsibility. You got to hire a good team. You got to identify a good team. You also have to do your craft. And it's not like it's an option unless you are going to get fucked.
We should be tired. We should be tired of watching bad business. Like, honestly. Like, and it predates me, right? Like, I could just be watching the 5 Heartbeats or any music doc to Elvis, Jerry, whoever. In each and every one of them, what's exactly the same is us and bad business. So they shouldn't be able to have that monopoly just till the end of time. I'm really proud to be a part of this iteration of things. It gives me hope that the young kids, because them niggas, they got voices and opinions, and hey, that's wrong, the Menendez, but I'm proud that I hope to be alive when our grandkids have different rules than the ones we played by. And that was why podcasting was so important, coming from music, because this is a whole new playground. Y'all are not gonna bring those archaic, outdated, dinosaur-ass thinking over here. Not today, or not with me.
Are there guys out there right now, speaking of upfront money, I don't even know this, that don't own their podcast?
That don't what?
That don't own their podcast.
Well, yeah, there are plenty of people out there that don't own their podcasts, one. And for those people that got smart and said, all right, I'm owning my shit, ownership, they tricked you and said, okay, you can own it, but we'll control it. And we'll control the money. And then y'all go out there and say, I partnered with, the fuck out of here.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Hold on, this is
Are we
important.
supposed to not curse here?
No, we can curse, we can curse.
I'm just checking.
No, we can curse.
I like the curse.
I want to understand this. There are people who own the podcast, I own it, but you control it?
Yes, Steve.
And you get the money.
Yes, Steve.
How does that trick work? I mean, what's the trick?
Because we've heard the word ownership so, in recent years, so much by the water cooler that that's all they're going to say. People don't know what it means. I own it. All the artists went to their record labels and said, I want to own it. Them niggas went somewhere else, divvied something up, came back and said, you can own it, but under these terms. And you signed it.
You know, the value of ownership is extremely important. I'm going to talk to the music people for a second. What we're watching happen right now, I'm talking about Jay-Z, Dame, and Big's ownership of Rockefeller and that first album, Reasonable Doubt. The fact that there is a lien against Damon's portion of equity and ownership in that, and that the IRS and that there's other people suing him for it, which he's causing him to sell it. I advise everybody who wants to understand the music business to really pay attention to that case. Only because if it could happen to, you're talking about Jay-Z and Dame and Rockefeller, something that was iconic, and yet, and the Reasonable Doubt album, the thing that made the whole thing work, and yet there's a lien against 1/3 of the owner's portion. That's how valuable ownership in a master is. It's like owning a house. It's like owning something that you can borrow against. People can put liens on, including the IRS.
Something that you can pass down.
Huh?
Something that you can pass down.
Something you can pass down. But if you just take ownership and don't realize the power of it, then you are wasting your time. And you probably deserve to get fucked. Pay attention to this case. I just beg if it's not funny, forget all of the other shit with Dame. But the idea that a master is that valuable, it's like beachfront real estate. So when he's talking about owning, now it's the podcast business, right? So now these guys are putting their image, their voice, their name, and their likeness and making podcasts, and he's telling me that other people are owning it.
It took a bag.
That's bad business, man. That's really bad business. And I hope that, coming out of this talk, that people are reconsidering, because it's like, you don't need much to do a podcast. I mean, you got to be intelligent. You got to have interesting subjects. You got to be talented in that way. But from a production standpoint, you can get going with very little. I just watched I did your, when I first did
Go ahead, get your shit off.
When I first did Joe's podcast, it was in a basement, and I was standing next to a washing machine. But I watched The Hustle, and he's knocking out 2-3 shows a day. My only point is, it did not take much to do it. And that's how you build a catalog of 800 shows. And that's how that shit's worth a lot of money. And he'll be making that money for perpetuity. He owns that forever. He can give that to his family. He can give it to his thing. He can split it. It's his.
No, tell him. Or
And
don't
he
tell
fought
him.
for that. I said, and you fought for that.
Every step of the way.
You turned down a lot of money.
They offered me a blank check.
They offered you what?
Somebody offered me a blank check.
And you said no.
You goddamn
Because
right.
ownership was very important to you.
And it's a trick. It's a trick. Hood nigga instincts again. I'm just saying, it's about the money. Like, why is a company, what standing is the company in that's willing to offer me a blank check right now? Will this company still exist next year, in 2 years, 3 years? What's going on back there to where that this is that important? Nah. And sure enough, they folded. They folded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they folded. So good decision. I mean, I could have had a bag and went and ran to the beach somewhere, but for what? Didn't it work? Nah.